Let's wind the clock back about 11 years ago. The year is 2014. The San Antonio Spurs just won their 5th championship in franchise history. Carmelo Anthony was one of the best scorers in the league. Your favorite center was getting yammed on by Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. And LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh were all still in Miami. Now, 2014 seems like it was a lifetime ago, but I want you to guess the most sold jersey in the NBA that year. Was it option A, Carmelo Anthony? Option B, LeBron James? Option C, Kobe Bryant? Or option D, Derrick Rose? If you said LeBron James, you'd be correct. And you'd also be correct for the 2015 season. Steph Curry overtook LeBron in 2016 as the most sold jersey, having one of the greatest offensive seasons of all time. But from there, either Steph Curry or LeBron James was the most sold NBA jersey for about the next decade. It took a once-in-a-lifetime trade of one of the greatest players of our generation going to the biggest market in the NBA for this trend to finally die. Even with the Luka trade, Steph Curry and LeBron James still finished within the top 3. The NBA is having a face of the league problem right now. With all these young and bright superstars, we cannot keep relying on a near 41-year-old going into his 23rd season and a 37-year-old 6'3" guard to keep the NBA afloat, but we still insist on it anyways. With the superhuman longevity that LeBron James and Steph Curry have shown us, coupled with the parity of dominance in the league right now, we still don't have a clear answer for who will take the throne once the king and the chef leave. We might be in trouble, because in today's video, we're going to expose your favorite young star looking to claim the throne of the future. This is why your favorite superstar won't be the next face of the NBA. Tyrese Haliburton already established himself as one of the best playoff performers in the league right now. The guy gets called overrated once, and the whole league gets to pay for it. Haliburton is already one of the best playmakers in the NBA while scoring the ball at an ultra-efficient clip, but there's a couple of problems. Haliburton doesn't have a real offensive bag like the other previous faces of the league had. LeBron, Steph, and KD all have super deep and dangerous bags, always a threat to get a bucket on you. Kobe for sure had a bag on offense, same with the 10-time scoring champ Michael Jordan. Larry Bird was one of the greatest three-way scorers in NBA history. But Eddie, what about Magic Johnson though? He was a passer just like Haliburton. Well, the thing is Magic Johnson won 5 championships, which brings me to my next point. Haliburton can put up all of the fancy stat lines and even take the Pacers on deep playoff runs, but if he's not winning championships, it's tough to call yourself the face of the league. And bad news for Hallie and the Pacers. Indiana's championship window just took a major hit. Haliburton will be out at least for the entirety of the 2026 season, at a minimum, and it's not even a guarantee that he'll come back at full force. Looking at the players that tore their Achilles, outside of the unicorn of Kevin Durant, most NBA stars like Kobe Bryant, Klay Thompson, Patrick Ewing, DeMarcus Cousins, and Dominique Wilkins, who suffered this injury, never quite came back at the same level. Indiana's anchor down low of Miles Turner just got traded to their biggest rival, and all these young players that brought Indiana to the finals, they're going to be asking for the big bucks real soon. As quick as Indiana's championship window opened, it might have just closed even quicker. You can't be the face of the league if you can't score like a generational star and can't lift up the Larry O'Brien trophy for yourself. Kade Cunningham has already established himself as one of the best players in the league. He's a 6'6" point guard with strength, athleticism, and a super polished offensive game already. Kade Cunningham is one of 9 players in the NBA last season that had a total production value of over 40, or points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. As a matter of fact, Kade Cunningham ranked 4th place, only behind Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in this stat. It's pretty obvious that Kade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons are only on the way up, but the face of the league might be a bit much right now. To be the face, the first step is to actually be on the court consistently. Kade Cunningham, over his first possible 308 NBA games he could have played in, missed about 38% of them, or 120 missed games to be exact. Trying to become the face of the league when playing in Detroit, Michigan is practically a death sentence. In order for Kade to have a shot at putting his name in this discussion, he'll need to bring the Pistons back to their former glory of contending for championships year in and year out. In addition, Kade will need to put up scoring numbers so unbelievably large to ignore just to take the attention off other players with better odds of claiming the face. The chances of this happening, I'm not so sure of. If we watched basketball for pure entertainment of the players and didn't give two craps about the score of the game, LaMelo Ball might already be the new face. He pulls off moves that would have your roster spot on the team questioned just a few decades ago. His playmaking, scoring, and feel for the game are next level and just stuff you can't teach. And he's already one of the most beloved players in the league right now. But this isn't pickup basketball, bro. If we were to compare NBA superstars to food restaurants, LaMelo Ball would be McDonald's. When you eat at McDonald's, it tastes like heaven at first, but then you instantly regret it 20 minutes later. LaMelo Ball will give you the loudest 25 and 8 a night with and one mixtape type buckets. But then you look up at the scoreboard and see the Hornets are losing by 30 and routinely have about 20 victories in the win column by April every year like clockwork. In order for LaMelo Ball to even get some consideration for the face of the league, he needs to show some promise of leading his team to wins and eventually playoff success. It's tough to be the next face of the league when we never see you play come May and June. Paolo Banchero has quickly become one of the scariest matchup nightmares the league has ever seen. He is a 6'10 forward with guard skills and athleticism. He routinely bodies smaller defenders and always blows by big men who dare to guard him on the perimeter. I mean, they don't call this guy the mini LeBron for nothing. But for Powell to get even close to LeBron's level, it's going to take a lot. Paolo Banchero simply doesn't draw in the attention that pretty much everyone else does. His game isn't flashy and exciting to watch at all for casual fans, and his personality doesn't mirror that of a true charismatic face of the league. If Powell wants any shot at becoming the next face, he'll need to put up unreal and unhuman numbers to make up for his playstyle and personality, and he'll need to lead Orlando on many deep playoff runs. The odds aren't stacked in Powell's favor, and he'll be fighting a mountain to win this battle. Jalen Brunson single-handedly brought back playoff basketball to the city of New York. I mean, just look at these fans.
If you ain't Heat fan, if you're not from New York, you can't. I'm from Big Nick on my body. DJ Khaled, congratulations! You just lost another one! We gonna see how Miami, yeah? We gonna see how motherfuckers in Miami. What are you talking about? Yo, we here, baby. We here, baby. Miami's the city of rental cars.
Jalen Brunson is one of the best scorers in the league in the biggest market in America. Brunson, despite playing in the most harsh environment in basketball, thrives time and time again in the clutch. Despite being just 6'2", he already has one of the best offensive games in the league. But Jalen has some major work to do if he ever wants the face of the NBA attached to his name. Brunson hasn't achieved anything meaningful enough yet to put himself in the face of the league discussion. His deepest playoff run was this year, where New York made the conference finals, and his greatest personal achievement is probably an All-NBA second team. Of course, these are great feats, but time is ticking for this near 29-year-old star. The harsh truth about Jalen Brunson is that he's a 6'2", non-flashy and non-athletic guard who will have to do something unimaginable to become the face of the league. Looking at all of the prior faces from the 80s all the way until today, 6 of the 7 were 6'6" or taller, and pretty much all of these players were either hyper athletes, had super flashy and electric games, or both. The one player that's on the short side but still managed to dominate the league was Steph Curry, but he did things from beyond the arc that literally bended people's minds. Does Jalen Brunson have the same appeal as LeBron, Curry, or Durant? I'm not so sure. I put Ja Morant and Zion Williamson in the same spot for a pretty good reason. Both players are athletic phenoms that sell out arenas quicker than you can say RAPE. Ja Morant instantly took Memphis from a team that was in the gutter into a legit contender in the West. Zion Williamson was seen at one point as a generational talent with insane efficiency around the rim. He was even hyper efficient when he made it to the NBA, but they both suffered from the same problems. Off the court, they just can't keep it together. Ja Morant, at the height of his fame in 2023, flashed a firearm on social media and got suspended for most of the 2024 season, and more importantly, lost any of his marketability. But Zion Williamson might be even worse. Off the court, Zion has been struggling with weight issues for about a half a decade at this point. At least Ja Morant is on the floor playing basketball games when he isn't suspended. Zion Williamson, during his first 6 seasons in the league, where he had the potential to play 470 total games, you want to guess how many games he's actually laced up for? Only 214 of them. Even worse, Zion about 2 months ago was sued for RAPE allegations with quote-unquote years of abuse. It's tough for the number 1 and 2 picks of the 2019 NBA draft to become the face of the league when you can't even keep a clean image for yourself. Jayson Tatum has proved he's already one of the next contenders for the face of the league. Deuce has been producing at an elite level for about a half a decade so far, both offensively and defensively. He's been on the All-NBA first team since 2022 and has had more playoff success than most all-time greats around his age. But unfortunately for Tatum, his window might have already closed even before it opened. An Achilles tear is an injury you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy. Most players have never came back the same after this tragedy. Outside of Kevin Durant, of the stars that have suffered this major injury, none of them have came back to the league with the same production, which is pretty bad news for Tatum, because his best might not even be good enough. If you want to be the face of the league, your dominance cannot be put into question. Normally, when your team does really well in the regular season, this is normally the time where the superstar in this team cashes in their check and normally wins some big award like the MVP, right? Well, in 2024, when the Celtics finished with a 64-18 record, 7 wins better than any other team, by the way, Tatum didn't even finish top 5 in MVP voting. It's not Tatum and the Celtics, it's just the Boston Celtics, with Jayson Tatum along for the ride. Additionally, in 2024, Jaylen Brown won both the conference finals and finals MVP. After Tatum's career-threatening injury and the Celtics' age and contract starting to catch up to them, their championship window that most faces of the league capitalize on might have already ended. You need to win consistently and take home big-time awards to call yourself the face of the NBA, and Tatum hasn't done either. Anthony Edwards, over the last 2 seasons, has quickly put himself in the conversation as the next face of the league. There's no better way to cement yourself in this discussion than to beat the current faces of the NBA during the postseason. The true passing of the torch, am I right? Ant has the excitement of a Jordan or LeBron, he has the mentality of the Mamba, and the charisma and personality of all of the previous faces of the league. But Ant is still missing one thing though. In order to really put yourself in that face of the league conversation, you need more than just a couple cute conference finals runs. Just imagine you're at your family's summer cookout and you finally beat that one uncle in a 1v1. But then your cousin comes and whoops your ass the next game. That's the situation that Anthony Edwards finds himself in right now. You can beat all the old heads you want in the playoffs, but if you can't finish the job against the other next potential faces of the league, those wins don't really mean a lot. You need to finish the job and come back home with the Larry O'Brien trophy in your hands if you want to be the next face of the league. Luka Donic, at just the age of 26, has already proved that he's a generational talent. Doncic, in his last healthy season in the league, averaged a near 34-point triple-double, while knocking off your favorite Western Conference contender in 2024 to bring Dallas to its first NBA Finals appearance since another white superstar was on this team. Luka Donic, already at the age of 26, has 5 All-NBA first-team selections. Not even Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Dwayne Wade, Allen Iverson, or Scottie Pippen could do that, by the way. But let's slow down 1 second. Luka Donic is a one-of-one talent on offense, but the defense simply isn't there. I mean, come on, bro. His weight and conditioning issues have held him back his entire career. I mean, this skinny motherfucker was torching the league even at 19 years old. It's also tough to be the face of the league when half of the NBA fan base can't stand your constant complaining of the refs, your horrible body language, and your emotional outbursts. Luka Donic definitely has the tools to become the next face of the league, but he's going to need to take it up a level. Just like pretty much everyone else mentioned in this video, he's going to need to win championships and awards to have a real shot in this discussion. Luka Donic needs to go from All-NBA first teams and finals appearances to MVPs and championships won. You can't be the face of the league when you cry like a toddler to the refs and still can't win any major achievement yet. The alien Victor Wembanyama has got off to a start in the NBA that even the GOATs couldn't get off to. In his first 117 games, Wemby has scored more total points than LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, and Jayson Tatum at the same stages of their careers. He's came down with more rebounds than 7'6" Yao Ming, Timberwolves' Kevin Love, Dwight Howard, and he even out-rebounded the Mount round of rebound. He's rejected more shots into the stands than legends like Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, Shaq, and Mr. Fingerwag Dikembe Mutombo. And he's drained more threes than Ray Allen, James Harden, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry throughout their first 117 games. But Wemby's in for a rude awakening to claim this title of the face of the league. We've only seen 17 NBA players who were 7'3" or taller, and only 8 of them have played a significant career in the NBA. As a matter of fact, 7 of the 8 Giants that have played in the NBA played less than 12 seasons. The one exception was 7'3" big man Rick Smits for the Indiana Pacers in the 90s. A decent all-star, but far from what Wemby aspires his career to be like. The truth is, if you want to be the face of the NBA, you need to play basketball for a really, really long time. Looking at the last 4 faces of the league, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and Steph, all 4 of these players played 15 plus seasons, played at least 1,000 games in the league, and extended their primes well into their late 30s and even early 40s. Wemby is a generational talent, but he's playing in an era where it's near impossible to stack awards like MVPs, Finals MVPs, championships, and even Defensive Player of the Years. A true requirement of being the face is having the hardware to back up the title. His competition for these awards and the face of the league is unreal. If Wemby can't play a long and fruitful career and can't rack up the hardware of the previous stars, I don't see him taking the throne. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander realistically has the best odds to become the next face of the NBA. To be the face of the league, you need to check off a lot of boxes, and luckily Shai has been on a mission at just 27 years old. To be the face, you need to be an undeniable talent, where people can unanimously agree you're a top 2 or 3 player in the league year in and year out. So far, Shai has done that, and he's on that path. Next, you need to have your name written all over the most prestigious awards in the league. Well, Shai just came off the most accomplished season since Prime Shaq or even Michael Jordan. Next, your team of course needs to win championships pretty consistently for about a span of a decade. The OKC Thunder just won a title this year and have one of the youngest teams in the league, with no signs of chemistry issues or egos colliding, with a mountain of draft picks still available in the next few years. Finally, you need to be a charismatic figure who even transcends just basketball, but makes his way into modern culture. Well, I'm not so sure if Shai's done all of that, but he definitely has a larger-than-life personality to him. But there's just one issue for SGA. We're playing in an era where it's harder than ever to stack championships, finals MVPs, all NBA first teams, and any other awards you can think of. We've seen 7 new NBA champs over the last 7 years, and based off what the NBA looks like right now, I doubt this trend will stop anytime soon. The competition in the NBA right now is like no other era. SGA clearly has the talent to be the next face, but can the Thunder consistently be a top contending team for a championship? And can SGA consistently keep his name in the MVP race and the best player in the league discussion? After this, it's only up to the fans if they accept him. Shea can be as good as he wants to, but if the fans see you as a free throw merchant that needs to act like a fish flopping out of water just to score, fans won't just anoint you as the next face of the league just because you're successful. If you want to be the next face of the league, fans need to accept your greatness. It can't be forced down their throats. So, did your next pick for the future face of the NBA get exposed? Let me know in the comments who you think will succeed LeBron, Steph, and KD. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like and sub. See ya.